Only the wealthy can attend Heikyo Private Academy, one of Japan's most prestigious schools. Unlike most schools, however, this one is entirely run by the student council and has a terrifying hierarchy based on gambling. The best gamblers enjoy fame, fortune and power, whereas those who are in debt are treated as pets and servants by the student body. Yumiko Jibani, an enigmatic second-year transfer student, arrives at the school and is welcomed by Ryota Suzue after losing a bet to Mary Satome, their class's best gambler. A student has become a pet. Yumiko is challenged to a modified rock, paper, scissors gained by Mary. Yumiko loses what she asks for, a final bet of 10 million yen in cash, and she reveals how Mary rigged the classmates' votes to determine Yumiko's cards. Yumiko mocks Mary for disclosing her methods and goes on to win the game, putting Mary in debt. Yumiko thanks Ryota for adding to the excitement of the game by giving him some of her winnings and considers him a friend. Mary becomes a pet as a result of her loss. Itsuki Sumareji, the daughter of the CEO of Japan's top toy company, challenges Yumiko to a double concentration game and a first-year student council member who is renowned for never losing a card game. Itsuki uses 2 decks of cards made by her father's company for this wager and defeats Yumiko in a close match to win 20 million yen. Despite Yumiko's lack of funds, Itsuki agrees to a second round on the condition that if Yumiko loses, Itsuki can have her fingernails and toenails removed to add to her growing collection of nails. Itsuki uses the same 2 decks as before, confident in her ability to cheat by using heat-activated patterns in the cards. Yumiko, on the other hand, reveals that she had figured out her plan and used her intelligence to memorize the cards, winning the game and claiming that Itsuki would have won if she had used a new deck. Yumiko arrives at the Traditional Culture Research Society's club room just in time to see Mary lose a high-stakes bet, racking up a debt of 40 million yen. Mary's opponent Yuriko Nishinatuan, a student council member and president of the Culture Club, challenges Yumiko to a game of life or death. Yumiko deduces that Jericho has been cheating by having the dealer wear magnets on her hand to affect the movement of the swords. After the first game ends in a tie, student council members, including council president Kurari Mamabami, step in to observe the game, just as Yuriko becomes panicked at the prospect of losing over 2 billion yen. Yumiko suspects Yuriko's victory was the result of the student council's elaborate cheating method for their game, which involved going to the room beneath and using magnets to prevent her from winning. Yumiko, who is now 310 million yen in debt, is also classified as a pet. Yumiko and Mary are given life schedules by the student council which determine their entire futures, including which career they will pursue, who they will marry, and even how many children they will have if their debts are not paid. The student council announces a debt exchange game in which groups of 4 students play a game of 2-card Indian poker to try to exchange their debts, with the winner losing their debt completely and possibly winning money. Yumiko and Mary are placed in the same group as John Katari, a delinquent male student, and Nanami Tsubomi, another pet. Despite the fact that John has no debts, he enters a small 10 million yen debt in order to profit from the game. John appears to have deduced that Yumiko and Mary are working together, only to be caught off guard by Mary's bluff play. Yumiko and Mary believe John is pressuring Nanami to cheat for him, putting him under pressure. John is desperate because if he does not finish first, the game will become a battle of bluffs and he will be forced to pay a large debt. He succeeds in moving up, but when Nanami gets a chance to overtake him, he panics and tries to force her to fold. Yumiko persuades Nanami to fight for herself, and Nanami defies John's orders. In the end, Mary takes first place while John takes last after it is revealed that Yumiko and Mary had switched their debts, making Yumiko's the least valuable. As a result, John inherits Yumiko's 310 million debt, Yumiko inherits Mary's 50 million debt, and Mary's debt is discharged. While Nanami inherits the same debt she began with, but with a new sense of freedom and self-esteem. Yumiko has not paid her debt despite having enough money, prompting the student council to conclude that she wishes to challenge Kurari to a match. Yumiko is challenged to a guessing game by Midori Ikushima, a deranged student council member. The winner of each round points one of 2 revolvers at the loser and pulls the trigger with neither knowing which of the gun's 6 chambers contains a bullet. Yumiko agrees, despite the risk of losing her life, but only on the condition that the game be limited to 3 rounds. Ryota be the dealer and the loser pay 1 billion yen. Midori adds that if the winner purposefully misses her shot, the loser can fire a shot in return. Midori fully loads her gun and has a better first round score. Midori ignores Yumiko's warning that pulling the trigger is a bad idea. Midori fires without hesitation, but the gun belongs to Yumiko and is unloaded. Midori reveals that gambling with money makes her feel nothing. She poked her own left eye out as a form of retaliation for losing to the council president, and she realized she only enjoys gambling when the stakes are paying or death. Yumiko correctly matches every card in the second round, while Ryota simply uses her card order from round 1. Midori puts Ryota under pressure in the final round by reversing the screen and giving him 10 seconds to deal the cards in the same order as before. Yumiko loads 2 bullets after figuring out the cheating. Midori wants to be shot, so she aims for no matches, knowing that a full match requires Yumiko to pull the trigger 5 times, ensuring at least 1 shot. However, Yumiko thwarts your plan by getting no matches as well, resulting in a tie. Yumiko finds no risk, games to be tedious, and despises Midori for it. Midori, defeated, begs Yumiko to kill her, but she refuses. Mary, on the other hand, refuses to join the council and vows vengeance on Kurari. Kurari leaves the academy, leaving the rest of the council unsure how to deal with Yumiko and allowing second years Kid Menudo and Yumemi Yumamite to take advantage of the situation to gain more power. A challenge letter from Yumi arrives as Atsuki, who is in danger of being disowned by her father after her loss to Yumiko, offers to become loyal to her if she defeats Kurari, becomes president and returns her place on the council. Umami bets Yumiko 50 million yen on the outcome of an on-stage idol championship competition, and if Yumiko loses, Yumemi will change her life schedule to force her into an idol duo with her, destroying any hope she has of a social life or meaningful relationships. Much like Yumemi's own life, Yumiko uses a recording device to trick Yumemi into admitting her true feelings, which are that her fans are all disgusting pigs, and then adds it to the bet. Yumiko will release the tape if Yumemi loses, effectively ending her career in hopes of becoming a Hollywood actress. Yumemi invites everyone to the gamble, which will take place after her Kid organized in school concert. Yumiko and Yumemi play games designed to test idol abilities such as dancing and singing, in which Human allows Yumiko to win several games, giving the impression that she is in danger of losing. They have to guess the birth month of audience members for the final game, which is crucial because if Yumiko loses this game, she loses the entire bet. Yumemi is confident in her victory, having memorized the birthdays of her entire fan club, but she panics when Yumiko manipulates dice and the audience member chosen as Mary. Yumiko scares Yumemi by tricking her into writing 9 on her card when she meant to write 6, but when Mary's birthday is revealed to be in March instead, Yumiko wins the game because her guess was 3 months closer. Yumemi fans are still loyal to her, despite the fact that the recording has been played. Yumiko, pleased with Yumemi's conviction, reveals that someone tried to sabotage Yumemi's career by sending her a ripped-up fan letter along with the challenge match the night before. Yumemi then accuses Kid, who is the only person who could possibly run the match with her. Yumiko suggests they gamble to find out who is lying as Kid, denies any wrongdoing and announces his plans to become the next president, declaring it an official match that he is not allowed to refuse. Kurari attends a meeting with her extended family's leaders, all of whom are Mama Bami clan members. Back on stage, he comes to the conclusion that Yumiko is merely a gambling addict who gambles for the sheer thrill of it. Ririka, the masked vice president, proposes a modified version of poker in which no one can fold or call, and the last player who raises gets to decide whether a stronger or weaker hand wins, ensuring that each round has a winner, and insists on being the dealer before betting. Each player may discard and replace any number of cards once, just like in regular poker. Yumiko spends her 310 million on 31 poker chips while Kid spends 1 billion on a 100. Yumiko wins the first round, prompting Keed to consider Yumiko's love of taking risks and use his keen calculations and intellect to win the following rounds. Yumiko has given the option to keep playing and asks Itsuki for money in the audience. Yumiko defends Itsuki as a friend and encourages her to take a risk for the sake of her ambitions. Rather than accepting Keed's seat back as the safe option, Itsuki gathers her courage and buys Yumiko 100 chips. Kurari shocks the other family heads by announcing that she will no longer support them. Yumiko and Keed continue to bet until Yumiko runs out of chips again, but the two continue to buy more chips until Keed raises her by 100 chips, forcing her to fold due to a lack of funds. Yumiko suggests that Itsuki better life in exchange for a life schedule, and she initially refuses. But after seeing Yumiko's cards, she rips out her fingernails and willingly bets her life. Ririka declares her life schedule to be worth $10 billion based on Itsuki's family wealth, prompting Keed to challenge the decision. Erika then takes off her mask, revealing that she is actually Kurari and the two are twins. With Yumiko's bet now at 12 billion, Keed desperately bets 10 billion on his own life schedule and chooses strong. Yumiko, on the other hand, reveals Itsuki's desperation was a ruse to trick Keed into picking strong, and she reveals she has 3 jacks to Keed 3 eights, Keed's billions of dollars, and loses his council seat as a result. Yumiko and Kurari sit down to talk about their reasons for gambling, and both of them seem to have a thing for each other. Finally, the two are sit against each other in a game of chance. Yumiko and Kurari compete in a match that is judged by council member Rani Yamasuki, with the loser being expelled. Kurari opts for the game Tarot Cards of Fate. Yumiko gains 1 point by selecting a card. Yumiko must score 20 points or Ryota must locate the full card facing Yumiko. If Kurari chooses a 21-point card facing away from Yumiko, Sumareji and Mary think the Fool is a card with a lipstick smudge on it, despite Yumiko's claim that she is the only one facing expulsion. Ryota vows to share her fate in order to be with her. Ryota is tempted to choose the marked card, but changes his mind at the last moment, suspecting it is a ruse by Kurari and instead chooses completely at random, arousing Yumiko intensely. The chosen card is worth 20 points, bringing Kurari's total to 20. Runner declares the game a draw, with no one being expelled, but Kurari and Yumiko agree to gamble again in the future. Ryota summarizes Yumiko's impact on everyone she gambled with in the final scene. Yumiko continues to be a compulsive gambler, despite Kurari's